Welcome again. Today I want to move forward to this coming Sunday's Gospel because it anticipates, points towards the great fiesta of Easter Sunday. The great event when God, having sent His Son into the world, now raises Him to the fullness of life, eternal life, God life, the life of love, true, permanent, eternal, complete love. And the text today begins with the two sisters, Martha and Mary, sending a message to Jesus, who was 3 days away, that the man he loved was ill. Now, to appreciate this, we need to look at a little bit of the geography. Bethany is about 4 to 5 kilometers east of Jerusalem. And Jesus had fled Jerusalem a little while before this because of threats and because his hour had not yet come. So he went across the Jordan to where John used to baptize. And so they sent the message to him, and when Jesus receives it, he says, "This illness is not unto death, but so that God might be glorified, and through it the Son of Man might be glorified." And he stays there 2 days before heading up the road, up the hill, past Jericho to Bethany. And when he arrives there, Martha goes out to meet him. And she says, "If you had been here, my brother would not have died." And Jesus says, "But he will rise again." And Martha says, "I know that. He'll rise again on the last day." Jesus says, "But I am the resurrection and the life. And anyone who believes in me has eternal life." And then he says to Martha, "Where have you put him?" And he says this with a sigh. It's like a very sad moment. And Martha says, "Come, we'll show you." So she and Mary and the crowd that had gathered go take Jesus to the tomb. And when he gets there, Jesus is weeping. And the crowd say, "See how much he loved him." And then Jesus says to the fellows there, "Roll back the stone." In other words, remove that obstacle that is called death. Open up the tomb. And then he says in prayer, "Father, I know you hear my prayer. In fact, you've always heard my prayers." And then in a stern voice he says, "Lazarus, come out." And Lazarus comes out, but he's all bound up. And he says to the people, "Unbind him and let him go." And they do. And many of the people who were there, having seen this, come to believe in Jesus. And that's where the text ends. So what I wanted to take today was what we're anticipating is the definitive resurrection when the Father raises the Son to the fullness of life, to God life, to what we call eternal life. And that's what we have been invited into also. The same love life, the same eternal life, the same the fullness of life. If you remember, Jesus says back in his life, earlier life, "I have come that you might have life and have it to the full." And there is a resurrection is to the fullness of that life that we begin here. So let's look forward to Easter. Let's remember that this Sunday is an anticipation. It's a preparation for. And on the Easter Sunday, we'll celebrate Jesus being raised to the fullness of life, new life, and you and I are also invited into that same life. Have a good week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.